Good morning and welcome. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK. And it's lovely to have you join me on this Monday morning. Where are we? The 17th of January. And I think officially today they call it Blue Monday, but we're not going to do anything blue today. We're just going to have lots of smiles and lots of crafty fun. So if you are here with me, then welcome. Do pop on, do say hello, do let me know where you're joining me from and what you're doing, if you're doing some crafting and where in the world you are and all of those sorts of things. And do share out this video. Do make sure that you subscribe to my channels and like, follow, all of those things, because that's all a huge help to me and it's always lovely to have you with me. So they will let you know then when there's new content for you to have a look at. So let me bring in my other camera and let's bring you on down. So www.Love-a-Duckie.co.uk. This is me and I'm based here in the UK, as I say. And if there's anything, good morning, Beryl. If there's anything I can do to help you with your crafty journey, whether that's help with buying things, help with using the things you've got, or indeed if you would like to come and join the Stampin' Up family, any of those things, if you are here in the UK, I would love to help you with those. Obviously some of those things I can help you with wherever in the world you are, but do go over and check out my website where you'll find details of classes and tutorials and all of those sorts of exciting things, as well as lots and lots of inspiration. And if you're looking on social media, any social media, then look out for Love-a-Duckie and you'll find me on Pinterest and Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and all of those places. So it's Monday morning and we're going to be playing with literally a lovely set. A set that's full of love, and this is the Sweet Talk Suite, and that's what we're going to be concentrating on this week. So I've got a couple of lives coming up using products from this suite. So it's a really lovely suite. Obviously, morning Lisa, obviously sort of got Valentine themes in mind. So if you've got all those Valentine cards that you need to be creating, then this is the perfect suite. Obviously also great for weddings, for engagements, anniversaries, all of those sorts of things. But it also has some really cute, as the name would suggest, sweet talk, as in sweets. So whether that's love hearts or lollipops, then they are all in there in a really pretty pastel colour palette, as you can see down here, with that pop of real red in it. So petal pink, so saffron, granny apple green, pool party, highland heather, real red. So you've got those subtles, you've got a couple of little pops of brighter colours in there. So it is a gorgeous suite of papers, gorgeous pack of papers. Just put my phone on silent so we're not pinging in the background. Gorgeous pack of papers, and we'll look at those a bit more closely in a minute. There's an embossing folder, there's stamps and dies, there's a little treat box there, some gorgeous rhinestones and some really lovely ribbon. So all in all, a lovely comprehensive suite. We pop over the page here, you can see a few more then of those samples and things that are here. There's the stamp set in a bit more detail, and obviously it's bundled, so you can either use the one code if you want everything in the suite. You can use that one code and get everything sent to you, or you can break it down into components. But if you go for the stamp set and the dies, you do get that 10% discount on that bundle. So always worth looking at. So let's have a little quick look at these things in real life, because I do have them all here, having scouted around. So we have the Sweet Conversations stamp set, and as you can see, you've got all of these hearts, and they are very certainly here in the UK, we have Love Heart Sweets, very reminiscent of the Love Heart Sweets. You have this gorgeous piece just here, this sort of dotty circle, and I did yesterday when I was sort of browsing Pinterest see a beautiful card that somebody's done using this as a flower centre, and the petals, I think it was possibly that heart as flower petals going all the way around, and it was really beautiful. So I'm not planning on doing that in the next couple of sessions, but I certainly might have a go at that and post pictures, you never know. So yeah, you've got these little hearts here, and there are some dies that are going to coordinate with these stamps. You've got this big dotty piece, you've got the smaller dotty circle just here. I'm happy to have you in my life. Happy Valentine's Day. You are cute. Hug me. BFF. Best friend forever, love you, text me. And obviously those greetings are in those stamps, but there's no reason why you couldn't mask those off if you didn't actually want those greetings in those stamps, and you know, play around with those. That's always an option. So that is the Sweet Conversation stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set, which means it is relatively clear to use ready colour inks with it, but that's perfectly normal. You've got the noughts and crosses in there, the hugs and the kisses. Yep, these are nice stripy designs, so a lot of fun little designs in there, and obviously the dies that coordinate with it. So as I say, you've got these hearts that will cut out your heart shapes. You've also got a couple of banners, so you've got this one, and then you've got this really tiny little one just here, a tiny banner that you could use as sort of like flags or greetings or whatever. You've got these heart shapes, and they do cut out almost like a wanted to say a sort of Welsh love spoon. I ought to bring I've got a Welsh love spoon. I ought to bring it in. Sort of very reminiscent of the carvings on a Welsh love spoon coming down there. But you've got the two die cutting edges, so it cuts the outside and the inside. So it will cut you out this outer piece, but it will also cut you out these little heart pieces down the centre there. And the same with this. This one obviously is going this way. That one goes that way. That goes that way. You've got a little strip that will just cut you out little hearts here. And you've got these as a pair of hearts. You've got these individual hearts. So hearts galore. And then you've got this lovely little tag and this little die here that will fold up into a sort of curvy little envelope. So, yep, so that one goes that way. This one comes down this way. Think, oh, the hearts are all the same size. Yes, they look it. It's deceptive, isn't it? Because that one looks as if they're going to be bigger, but I think they're about the same. So you have a one with 6 in, one with 3 in, one with 4 in, depending which way you want those to go. So lots of dies to play with. We've got a gingham embossing folder. Now, obviously, embossing folders are never easy to see. On camera. I don't know whether that helps a little bit, possibly, but actually even seeing that doesn't give you the a full effect of it. It is a lovely embossing folder, and we will try and play with that at some point during the course of the next couple of days, a couple of lives. So that's a gingham embossing folder. Some gorgeous linen, real red faux linen ribbon, and I don't know if you can see the open weave of that almost. So really lovely ribbon, really soft. It's going to be really lovely to play with. Iridescent Rhinestones. These are gorgeous. So same sort of setup as any of our rhinestones. You've got the same configuration, but these are iridescent. Aren't they just beautiful? So I'm sure that they are not going to find themselves stuck just with the sweet talk sweets. They are going to be popping up all over the place. And then you've got these little sweet treat boxes, and they just quite simply already got the adhesive on there. Look, quite simply fold round, stick in place, and then these bits tuck in on the top to make a really lovely little treat box, which is just perfect for filling with yummy things to send to your loved ones this Valentine's. Or they would make really nice wedding favour boxes actually, and you could really decorate those up as wedding favour boxes very easily as well. And of course we can't look at a suite without looking at the papers, and these papers are just so lovely. So you've got all of these hearts here, and obviously your hearts in your die set are going to cut out some of those hearts. You've got lots of little hearts and pink lollipops in there. You've got a whole load of sweets here. You've got wrapped sweets, heart-shaped lollipops, different colours, as well as little hearts and things in the background. That's just a really lovely background heart paper. I love this paper. I love the way these sort of hearts are grouped and sprinkled around. That sort of is almost like a nice serving suggestion, if you like, for creating your own one-sheet wonders. That's really lovely. And then you've got this one here. It's got like these sort of tags, packets on the front, and all the little hearts in the background. And then if we turn that round, we've got words of love all over there, whether it's in French or German or whatever it is. You've got a nice sort of, not dotty, but almost dotty paper there in reds and pinks. A lovely watercolour wash type pink paper. Gorgeous stripe. There's another stripe. This one is Highland Heather stripe. And then you've got these strips of hearts, which are just lovely. I love these little heart strips. So a whole bunch of gorgeous papers, and papers are going to play quite a big part in our cards today actually. So I have been relatively organised, and I have already done some cutting up and things. So let's start with a card that is just really sort of having the papers as the central theme, but we will do a bit of stamping and things with them as well. So I've got myself a basic white card base here, and here in the UK that would be cut at 14.9, or if we're being exact 14.85, and scored at 10.5 to make that card base. But whatever your basic card base is, that is what size I've made that. So then I've cut myself a red mat, real red mat that is 14.4 by 10, and I picked out this all over heart paper. So you've got the real red and the blushing bride hearts in the background, sort of overlapping each other. So that's what I've picked as that paper just there. Let's take a bit of glue. And we'll stick that on there. I'm not going to stick it to the bottom yet because I do want to bring in some ribbon. So I shall no doubt want to wrap that round. Now my next layer is going to come across the centre here. And my layer is 10 centimetres by 3.5, and the paper is 9.5 by 3. I shall do a blog post with these cards, so all of those measurements will be up on the blog post when that goes live later in the week sometime. But obviously, if you are, if you're elsewhere in the world and you don't use metric measurements, it really is just a question of by eye, really, because obviously your cards are slightly shorter and slightly fatter, aren't they, if you're in the US? So you might not want to make that quite that wide. You might want to make it slightly shorter. I mean, I think 3 centimetres is about 1.25 inches, if I remember right. Yeah, so this back piece here would be about 1.5 inches. You might not want to make it 1.5 inches. It's just about playing. It doesn't have to be exactly as I've done it. I've got another layer just here. So this one is using the lollipop papers. Decisions. It doesn't matter. I can move it around as long as I've made my mind up which way I want my lollipops to go before I stick it down. So that is a 6.5 square real red mat and a 6 centimetre square DSP mat. And then I've got a strip of this paper here, so it's got the sweets on the back, but that felt a bit too busy, so I wanted to go with just that pale watercolour effect paper. And then what I thought I would do is I would bring in my downward hearts. Let me grab my mini cut emboss. Of course, my cut and emboss plates are looking very well loved, but that's okay. They are the plates themselves are consumables. They last a long time, but they will eventually need replacing. I do have a spare set sitting in the background, and in actual fact what I might do is sort of, although this one is starting to crack, that happens as well, what I would sometimes do is swap out this base plate, use this one as my next base plate, and just bring in one new mat, and then swap it out again later on. Right, I'm just going to cut through there. So I've laid that die so that it's quite near the top. You can see what I mean by you get the two layers of die cut, and obviously you're going to get your little hearts as well. Let's take those out. I'm going to pop those in my little dish I've got to one side here, because I don't need those at the moment, but we might come back to them at some point. They might be a useful little embellishment for something. I'm going to come back and I'm going to put, I'm having a sort of label coming in the middle here, so I'm now going to put those hearts at the bottom. Let's bring those back through again. Putting emboss to one side for now. We might need it again in a minute. Oh, we definitely will need it again in a minute. Right, okay, where's my other little set of hearts gone? We were doing so well, weren't we? Because I do want to place those back in there. Ha, I found you. Floated away onto the floor. I'm going to stick those back into there. That's going to come down on the top here. So we're going to have some ribbon in as well. Then I'm going to take this tag and I think I'm going to go basic white. So I'm just umming and ahhing whether I want to go white or white or pink. And find ourselves a little bit of real red. Is that big enough? Yes, it is. Excellent. So I don't know if you've all got lots and lots of Valentine cards to make, or whether you don't make any at all. Bring it in this white piece of basic white as well, and we'll cut a second tag from that. Sorry, wobbling me slightly as that comes through there. So I could sort of cut and explode that tag out slightly so that it's top and bottom, but I think I'm just going to offset it actually. Let's have a little look at our greetings. I think I'm going to go happy to have you in my life. And I might take this little dotty one. Grab some real red ink. Oh, she says. Real red seems to have gone walkabouts. How very odd. But I do have a little stamping spot with real red, so let's play with that instead. We're going to want a little A block, this one, and I think we'll go B block for this one. Morning, Jackie. Flying in, flying out. Now, as always with the photopolymer stamp, I am going to pop a mat underneath. The rubber stamps have a sort of bit of sponge added in. Your photopolymer ones don't. So it is always quite useful just to add in that bit of give underneath yourself. And the stamping spots, you can buy a whole little set of plain spots that you can then ink up yourself. If you have any of our lovely kits, you will start to gather a collection yourself anyway, and then in the annual catalogue, find those. You can get, actually I don't know whether there's a picture in here of them, is there? You can get the set of little stamping spots. Not sure whether there is. I think they may be something that you have to go and look online for. But, I will add that to my list of supplies when I edit the video later, because you can get the little set of stamping spots that has all the colours in. I'm sure that there is a picture of it actually in the catalogue, but I can't remember where. Anybody off the top of their head can remember where they've seen that picture? But they are really useful, and if you are starting out in stamping, if this is your first sort of forage into the stamping world, then stamping spots are a really good way to go, because you can get a nice little collection of colours to get you started at a really reasonable price point. So it doesn't show you them all, but you can see here you've got the classic stamping spot assortment, and you get 6 inks in that little assortment, and there's 3 of them. No, 8 inks. Do apologise. I read 8, said 6. You get 8 little inks in that assortment of colours. I think there's a basic grey in there. It just is just a really lovely starter set of colours, so that if that's something that you haven't yet got, it's a really good starting place. And obviously the little stamping spots are great for going crafting on the go. They're also fabulous with the Stamparatus when you're inking things up. Really useful to have. But as I say, another place to get them is to have some of our kits, because you get a stamping spot in all the stamping kits as well. I've done some spots in Blushing Bride there in the background. I think actually... Oh no, we don't want people being poorly. Hope you're feeling better now, and that your special birthday was very special. I do have a slight one of the things with doing this, going live on StreamYard, is unless somebody's signed up for StreamYard, I don't always see who they are. So whoever it is who's just been poorly and had a big birthday, you're just showing up as Facebook user. So just pop your name in so that I know who I'm talking to. Just say, hi, it's... and then I will know who I'm talking to. I'm going to add in some Highland Heather spots as well along the edge there, because both of those colours feature in our paper. Karen, hi Karen. Well, I hope you had a really lovely birthday. Sorry that you've not been very well. Hope you're well and truly on the mend now. Excellent. Spring like in Eastbourne. I think actually daytimes here have been really quite nice and bright, haven't they? Get towards the evening as soon as the sun goes down and it gets really quite cold. Right, let's bring this together. Let's add in some ribbon, some gems, all of those sorts of things. So those two are stuck down. That's stuck down. Let's stick down this layer. So I'm going to put the paper in first. And let's bring back in our little hearts. Right, I'm just trying to work out which set of hearts went where. So we could have gone mix and match and sort of had a different colour set of hearts being inlaid in there. But what I wanted was for the red card underneath to pop out has red hearts, which it has done rather nicely. But I think it does need that inlay in it. A bit too much glue on there. So all of our paper layers are now stuck together. Let's bring in some of this ribbon. I'm going to stick this layer down. Go this way, I think. The rows of hearts have some going one way and some going the other, so it depends which section of paper you've got as to where you want that to go. I'm going to bring in some of this ribbon. So it's a faux linen, so it has got that sort of open weave effect that the linen fabric has. Really nice ribbon to work with. Let's come back in with a bow in a minute, we'll see. But for now, let's stick this down. So just lining that up by eye. Let's before that sticks, let's just quickly turn that round, because those hearts are directional and that was upside down. That's better. Nearly had an upside down card then. I'm going to come in with this card. I am going to put some dimensionals across the top and across the bottom. Have it that way. We've got this one coming in down here, so again I'm going to put dimensionals top and bottom just to help them bridge that raised piece just here. And that piece will hold this piece up. Let's just bring in a little bit of this ribbon. I'm going to thread it through both of those holes. And just trim that off at the top, and I'm going to spread that out a little bit. I want it to go that way or that way. That way, I think. I'm just going to put a bit of Tombow on there just to spread that out, and a little bit of Tombow on the back to stick it there. Don't think I want another bow on there, but what we are going to do is bring in some of the iridescent rhinestones. Let's find my take a pick tool. And let's pop a few of these around and about. I think we'll have a couple up there and a couple down there. So happy to have you in my life. So you could send that to anybody for Valentine's Day, really. So it could be to a loved one, could be to a friend, neighbour, work colleague, anybody that you are happy to have in your life. And hopefully there are lots of people that fit that category. So let's move that to one side. We could obviously add a bit more paper in the inside just to decorate that. We could add in some more of these little blobs, something to add some decoration to the inside of that. But for now, I'm going to move on to my other card. And this is one that's called a spanner fold card. So this is a little bit of a fancy fold, and I saw this using completely different suite of products, and when I wanted something that was going to highlight the papers, and this card looked as if it would work a treat. So the video that I was watching was Lisa Curcio, who is, if she isn't currently, certainly has been one of Stampin' Up, the Stampin' Up's top demonstrator. And she created this spanner fold card. She didn't make it up, but she did do a video in it that I watched and thought I really quite like that. So what we're going to do is I have just taken a standard piece of C5 card. Oh, another birthday cuppa. Excellent. You enjoy that. So this is a standard A5 piece of card. So 14.9 by 21 centimetres, scored at 10.5. And we're going to have it this way. We're going to have a landscape style card. But what I'm going to do is I am going to cut some sort of legs. And they need to be 3 centimetres each. Ooh. My blending brushes have just all leapt onto the floor. So I'm going to bring this right side of my card up to the 3 centimetre mark. I'm going to take my cutting blade and rest it on that centre score line and cut. Now I need to do the other side, so I'm literally going to flip it and do exactly the same. Up against 3 centimetres, bring it down to the score line and cut. So now I have a card that looks like this with flappy bits on it. Now I have cut mats and things to fit on my card, and I've also cut, there's a piece of window sheet there. So as I say, again, this will go on my blog post. You'll have measurements and things as you go along. Let me just check that I've got the right bits, because my front strips are slightly longer than my back strips. So I have some strips to go on here. So I've not made these. Normally I would go 0.5 centimetre shorter for a mat. This is actually 1/4 centimetre shorter. So these are actually 10.25 by 2.75 or somewhere around that. You know, you don't need to sweat it out too much. So let's pop these on these side panels just here. And then I've cut some of this Highland Heather Designer Series paper that has these words of love on. Je t'aime, ik liebe dich, love, little hearts, all going on there. I just moved that slightly. Oh, let's not put that upside down. So you can see I've just got a little border of pink, just enough to make it pop a little bit. Now I'm going to take my strip of window sheet. I'm going to attach it to the back of here. Oh, sorry. I think I need to. Right, I'm just going to use a little bit of my Stamping Seal Plus. It's a really good, strong adhesive. It won't be too in your face underneath there. So that's that piece of acetate just stuck on the front there. So this is going to be our layer 1, and we will put a little bit of something else on the front there in a minute. We're going to open this up because this is going to be layer 2. So I have got here a piece of another piece of Blushing Bride. Again, I've cut it so that it is 1/4 centimetre shorter than that front panel. So it is actually 10.25 by 8. Yeah, I might have made that slightly smaller actually. I might have given that a slightly bigger border. Oh, I don't know, 8.4 that is. I think that is actually 1/2 centimetre border, so I might need to rejig that measurements. This one has got a slightly bigger border, but I'm actually going to go with the paper this side. So I'm going to use that paper with all those love hearts on. Yes, it was 8.9, so it should actually be 8.65. So I might have made mine a little bit shorter. But there we are, we have that paper there. So this opens up. We've then got this paper here, and we will put a bit of a greeting on there. And then we've got the central piece. So I've got a piece of basic white there that is 14.4 by 10, which is what the standard first matte size is for a metric card. And when I put these sizes up, I will put the I'll put some imperial equivalents as well, so that wherever you are in the world, you'll be able to hopefully recreate these cards. So these panels just here are actually, this is 10 by 2.75, and I'm going to pop that right on the edge just there. And this is also 10 by 2.75. And then this one here, got nice stripy paper. It's 9.75 by 2.5. As funnily enough, is the bit on the other side. Looks slightly too wide. Just going to take a little smidge off of there. I think I got carried away with my Of course, that's going to be sticky now because that's got glue on it, but never mind, we can clean that up. That's a bit better. Just gives us that pop of pink. So that is your basic card style. You've got this piece here that gives you this front panel. You've got your inside panel, and then you've got your back panel. But then we need to do some decorating. We need a greeting on there, and we need some prettiness. So I think I'm going to go with Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to take an envelope. Let's cut that in Blushing Bride as well. Not quite wide enough. That will do. Stick that on there for a moment. Suddenly thought that doesn't feel fat enough. I was missing a layer. Let's bring this through. You can see you've got your little envelope with your score lines. It's going to come round. A bit of a black mark on that side. Let's have that bit tucked up. I think I'm going to do a second envelope. Let's go so saffron. If I can find my so saffron. I think we might be able to just squeeze that out of there. These sorts of dies are so useful for using up all your little pieces. Rather cute, and then I think we'll have some hearts coming out of there. So let's just stick this down. So what we're going to want to make sure that we do is that, or that we don't do, is that we don't stick these to this back piece. They need to be free flowing, if you like. So this So Saffron one to stick here, and this one I'm going to add going to put sort of almost put them on top of each other, a couple of dimensionals just there, that to come here, so it's stuck to the front but isn't attached to that back piece. Let's take our Happy Valentine's Day. Is it going to fit on there? Yes, it is. And a little bit of basic white card. And the Highland Heather ink pad somewhere, just there. And to take that a little bit away from the edge, because I'm hoping no, it's not quite long enough. And we'll make our own. So let's trim that top and bottom. Get ourselves a little bit of Highland Heather card. And then we'll trim that to make a border. I think this would equally be a fun birthday card. It doesn't have to be. Bring that in down there so it sits underneath that acetate. And then I'm going to take these because I want a selection of hearts. I'm going to do some in Highland Heather, some in Full Party, and some in Granny Apple Green, because those are the colours that we've got in the background there. I'll add a few extra hearts in. see if we want a bigger one as well. Move that to one side. So many oddments of card now. I'm burying bits and pieces. Let's have Highland Heather. Let's have some Pool Party. And let's have some Granny Apple Green. So I've got all of those. On my mat. Here they come. Clunk, click. I do sometimes get clunking and clicking with dies. Don't ever worry about that. As long as you're not forcing them through the machine, that's the only time you need to worry. You've got 3 fun little outlines there, but I don't think we're going to need those this time. It's these little hearts that I want. I want those popping out of our envelope. Okay, so let's stick these down as we go along, I think. We have a Highland Heather one. The Granny Apple Green. Pool Party. And then let's have some over here. Party one. And we'll have another little Highland Heather one. Tucked at the back there. Got 2 spare Highland Heather ones. I'll pop those in my little dish with my little paper flowers and paper hearts from earlier. So I don't think we want red ribbon with this one, because actually this card hasn't got any red on it. We'll put a little bow of white twine. And then let's come back to our Iridescent Rhinestones. Let's just have a few of those. Popping out the envelope too. Have a slightly bigger one up there. So there's the front of our card. That's that piece. We've just got this piece just here. Obviously we'll need to do a little bit of something in there. Let's grab our hearts. Take this little row of hearts just here. And let's go Blushing Bride. Yeah, we just want to make sure it doesn't show through on the front. And then we'll come back to that. Happy to have you in my life. And I'll pop that in the middle. So let's do that in Pine and Heather. So let's move some of this gubbings out of the way so we can see what we've got. So 2 cards created with the stamps, the dies, and of course those gorgeous, gorgeous papers from the Sweet Talk Suite. So you've got this one here with these different panels all layered up with that lovely tag on the top and that dotty stamp, using the dies to cut out these inserts just here. And this one, we've created this banner card. So you've got like these different layers. 1, 2, 3. And we've built up some of those envelopes with hearts bursting out of it to wish somebody a happy Valentine's Day. So I hope you've enjoyed those. I've got a couple more things up my sleeve. I've been very organised. Already have a little post-it note with ideas for what we're going to be creating on Friday. Now, Friday is going to be half an hour later because I have a dentist appointment at 8:15 in the morning. So I am hoping that I will be through the dentist, out the dentist, and here by 9:30. Obviously, if anything goes wrong in those plans, then it will be a bit later still, but yeah, my plan is that it will all be ready to go and I will just be able to walk through the door from the dentist. It is only a checkup, so there shouldn't be anything too horrible happening, but I should be here in time for 9:30. So yeah, half an hour later on Friday, but it is already scheduled into the groups and things. So have a lovely week. Enjoy creating, enjoy sunshine if you've got sunshine, enjoy lots of cups of tea. I've heard today that the Samaritans here in the UK have said that it shouldn't be Blue Monday, it should be Brew Monday. So I think on that note, I will go and put the kettle on and have a brew. If you're doing the same, think of me and I will think of you. And I raise a digestive biscuit in your honour. So have a lovely, lovely week, and I will see you all on Friday.